day 19. It's my last day in the car. And I won the lottery. I won $2 on my ticket. But I also had the realization last night that, like, I'm the lottery ticket. I won the lottery by being able to, like, step into, like, who I am and who I want to be and who, like, I aspire to be in this lifetime. My crash out continued throughout the evening, being able to have a bath and really just, like, wrestling with myself about what it is that I want. Obviously, there is something in my reality that I'm not wanting because it's not coming in, and it doesn't matter what I do, it's, like, not working. And it's one of those things that's like, I've been working on the habit of having to fix things in order to, like, get a result, which is difficult in our society, in our culture, especially as a Virgo healer, that I have the ability and the capacity to do this for so many other people. I can do this so easily for others, and being able to do it for myself has absolutely been my greatest challenge, my absolute greatest challenge. So I was thinking, I think I really had to admit to myself that I don't want to stay in that house anymore. I think there's a part of me that doesn't want the car. But it's weird because it's like, it's not like I don't want to feed myself. So it's like, why? There's always a part of us that's getting off on not allowing something to happen or coming to fruition. And I understand that that's always, for me, linked with safety, right? Like, I'm unpartnered single parent. Like, I am everything in our household. And talking to myself last night, because I turned my overthinking into conversations instead of just, like, this rumination, being like, well, what's this common denominator? What do I want? And I'm like, I am so sick and tired of feeling like everything's going to be taken away from me. Like, our home, because we rent, and I have a fantastic landlord, but it's always there. Same thing with, like, the vehicle. It's just always, like, this hustle to make just enough money to keep us in this element of an illusion of safety, thinking that it's not going to be taken away from us at any time. And I think that's why I really want to own something. I'm like, well, why don't I feel safe as a Land Rover goes by? I use cars all the time as, like, a sign and symbol from, like, the universe for, like, where I am. Land Rovers for me are alignment. So being able to think about, like, well, why don't I feel safe? And it's like, I don't trust it. I'm like, I don't trust what? I'm like, really what it comes down to always is trusting myself. Like, I'm so afraid to trust myself because every single other time that I have, it's ended up in catastrophic failure and, like, dramatic, of course. My Venus is in Leo, but it's dramatic, like, for that and in that capacity. But I'm like, well, if I trust myself, then it's just going to end up in a disaster again. And it's like, well, girl, what if it doesn't this time? What if all the disasters are behind you? And, like, I've learned so much more and I have more discernment now. And I think that, like, every single thing that I've ever gone through, I have been able to help someone heal from, essentially. I think that's why people are attracted to me as a healer. They're like, they see a part of me, whether they're aware or not. They're like, that girl gets it. I don't, like, whatever I'm going through, I know that she's going to understand me, and I don't have to explain everything for her to be able to stand me. Like, she gets it. She's lived a life. And there's parts of me and, like, my public persona that I'm doing so well on. There's a magpie in the tree, right? Like, I have this incredible relationship with my teenagers, and, like, they're doing so well, and I am very good at the work I do, and I love that, and I am continually brave, and I have a great friend group, and the relationship with my family, I think, is as good as it can be. And it's being able to, like, look, like, I have all these really great elements of my life, and then I just feel like, again, a catastrophic failure in, like, my love life and, like, with money. And knowing that those two are so linked that it's like, I'm just afraid to open my heart again. I'm afraid to let love in again, because it all comes down, as you know, because we've talked about this before, to these, like, two simple things. And there's a part of me that wants to make it more complicated because I love having a good problem to solve. I think that I love, like, the vindication and, like, the addiction of, like, a manifestation and, like, chasing that high of, like, having something be, like, a huge struggle and then have it be, like, really cleaned up in this beautiful way that I have this story to tell that helps it easier for me to essentially like sell and market my services, which is ridiculous when I say it out loud. But I also like, I noticed how used to be like that, like cleaning the bathrooms. Like I would put off cleaning the bathrooms, they'd be really dirty, and then I'd do like a really good clean. And then it's like, I feel like I savor it way more when it's such an extreme. Like I went from having a 2005 Ford Focus. That thing was like, it did a great job. It looked like a ladybug, but it was like, the thing should have been driven by like, yeah, it's just, I went from a 2005 Ford Focus to like a brand new 2020 Land Rover, like in that time frame. That's like a quantum leap. And I think there's a part of me that likes this like disaster, because then if I can get myself out of it, then I have like this quantum leap. And the hypocrisy. The irony. The exact thing I want is like being able to create this like total mess like for that. And it's just like not fair. And I don't feel like I desire that. It's not something that feels like tasteful, like in my, like physically in my mouth, it feels distasteful. And it's like just not like a behavior that I feel like is at the level of what I am and what I'm portraying. So I'm gonna go take this car in, and I cleaned it all out. I've got my stuff from the back of the trunk, checked all the pockets, just filled it up with gas. I'm gonna go get my Land Rover. I'm gonna see how it feels like getting in there, because I think it's gonna be like quite marked. I absolutely have to discover a solution and like let myself like wide open. Like I am, it's like bottom of the ninth, end of the fourth quarter. There's like 2 yards left. And it's like sink or swim time, man. It's like everything that I know I have to put into practice. And I haven't slept in the last like 3 days because my body is just like so stressed out from having this element of safety in our home being potentially taken away. And just like the feeling of like this absolute inability to figure this out. Also knowing that like that doesn't make any sense. I figure everything else out. And like if money's just energy and I believe everything that I know, then like I know everything's gonna be okay. And I think it's hard because it's like what's coming. I thought about this last night, that I've been in this place before where like I feel like great change coming. I don't like how I'm not in control of it. And I'm just gonna like, no, like this is what I want. And I say it, and then it feels like the exact opposite happens and disrupts our life. And I think I'm just kind of like tired of disrupting our life in such a negative way. Like that's not something I want to subscribe to anymore. And I don't think that that's necessary. And it's not something that I want my kids to experience anymore, let alone myself. So I think it's like with this car, like that like ends here. I don't know if you're into astrology, or if you're not into astrology, the app The Pattern is fantastic about putting what's happening astrologically into some layman's terms and reminding you of it. And I'm in like this pocket of my south node being conjunct with my sun, which I don't know. I know a little bit about astrology. I don't know a lot of it. And I'm in this pocket of time between January and July where I have to shed something that doesn't serve me. I'm like, oh, you don't say. And that was a reminder today. Ugh. The pattern just always hits. It always sends that reminder of like what's going on. And like I don't subscribe. My life isn't led by astrology. It's supported by astrology. Right? So it's like if I'm thinking and feeling, and this is my intuition, being able to have that astrology, be able to externally validate what it is that's going on with that. But knowing that I'm like this, I'm like, hey, if I'm in this like until July, it's like, how do I want to approach this system? Because right now I feel like I'm willing to do anything to be able to make this work. It's important for me to be able to do what I promised and do what I like said I was going to do, and being able to like help others do the same. And I think that's the biggest thing. I'm like, if I can figure this out, I can help so many other people figure this out too. Because I think that this is like the money part is such a, it's kind of like just like that one element that's like kind of missing for a lot of us. Not everybody, but like a lot of us. But I think it's maybe like just the energy behind it. Essentially, I think what it comes down to, it's like trust. If I can, what I do with my work is I help people trust themselves again. Feel like, what does that feel like? I'll be saying things and you'll be like, well, that doesn't feel right, or that's not true. And it's like, that's like getting those feelings and being inspired by that establishes trust in yourself again. So for you to be able to move forward from that place of like, well, I know what I feel like, so I get to decide how I want to move forward. And I had a bath last night and I had a bath this morning, and just being like, man, like the water always just gives so many answers. I'm like, I'm like totally overthinking stuff because what does my body say? I gave myself a self-Reiki session. When I'm in there, I'm totally overthinking stuff. What feeling am I avoiding with it? And it's like, I'm just afraid to like trust myself again. I'm afraid to trust myself how powerful I am about being able to do this. Like this, I think that's the part of me is like logically, and the higher, like the future self, higher self, more aligned self, whatever you want to call it, like that level of me knows that it's like, girl, like it really is that easy. And I think that's the difficult part for me right now, is I'm trying to break apart that it's like, no, I'm used to things being so hard and catastrophic and like not working out. And I have to lean into trust and surrender to the fact, like, actually, no, it is really easy and it can be really fun. And this is the way it's actually supposed to be. And this is the life that we're leading and living now. And that's the part like I got to get rid of, like, for that. And yeah, it's just, as my hands are like burning, I'm healing definitely from my initiation wounds. Yeah, there's always going to be a part of me. I'll rephrase this. What do I want to say? I think right now I am feeling that like there's always going to be a part of me that wants things to be better, that has to have things a certain way in order to be better. But then there's also going to be this part of me that it's like, if I just trust and surrender into like what I feel and what I know more and more, that is just going to give more proof for people to do the same. And these like small scales, and like I'm doing it like in a big way right now. I can do it in really small ways when it comes to, I don't know, filling up gas or getting a parking spot, or like just manifesting someone's behavior changing, or manifesting like a really nice car. So like, why is it any different for me when it comes to like with cash money, is like being able to pay for rent and being able to pay for the car and being able to pay for groceries and paying for my bills? Why do I not want to trust like that masculine energy that I have? I don't know, maybe because I feel like every man that I've ever had in my life has always let me down. Okay, great, they have. So what am I gonna do? What feeling am I gonna do? Am I gonna keep letting myself down? And no. I always come back to me. I trust myself to always come back to me. I trust myself to be better. I trust myself to see things more. I trust myself to teach from a place of like knowing and healing, not to trauma bond, but to teach and lead others through a similar situation, so that it doesn't have to be as hard for them as I feel like it's been for me. Not to externally validate, not to create codependency, but to be a guide and support through their journey. Not someone that is going to like fix them so that they don't learn the lesson themselves. Great, so knowing that's what's important to me, and this is how I want to lead. What am I going to do next? What's like my next step? I'm just going to relax. I'm going to keep surrendering. I'm going to leave the fear I have of change and of control in this car when I leave it. This version of me is like going to be left behind. So I can step into who I really am and who I want to be and who I am practicing living as back into a vehicle that is mine, that creates this element of safety so that we can practice being powerful. Amazing. I'm grateful for you, like, on this journey. I'm excited to film a video in the car, in my Landy in Blackberry, see what she's like. I'm very curious to see how she's gonna feel. And I'm really excited to see how this all shakes out today. More than anything, I want to figure this out and have this work. This is like my redemption. Okay. As an airplane flies overhead, I'm grateful for this car and the portal that's created. I'm grateful for the magic we've been able to do while we're in here. Thank you for being such an incredible container. Thank you for getting us to so many places safely. Thank you for always bringing us home. Thank you for being such an incredible adventure. Mwah.